Charles II of Spain is one of the most tragic and unique figures in European history. Born on November 6, 1661, he was the last king of the Habsburg dynasty in Spain, a family that had ruled for centuries but paid a heavy price for its rigid insistence on marrying close relatives to preserve power. Unfortunately, Charles bore the physical and mental consequences of this practice, and his life became a symbol of both personal suffering and the decline of an empire. The Habsburg family was proud of its divine right to rule, but their long history of inbreeding caused significant genetic problems. Charles's health was severely affected, and his appearance became infamous. He had a pronounced jaw, a distinctive feature of the Habsburgs, which made chewing and speaking difficult. He drooled uncontrollably and struggled with basic communication. Charles was frail and often unwell, earning him the nickname El Hechizado, or the Bewitched, at court. Some believed his afflictions were caused by witchcraft, while others recognized them as the unfortunate result of his family's marriage practices. Charles's challenges extended beyond his health. He was intellectually limited, unable to read or write properly, and struggled with the responsibilities of kingship. When his father, Philip IV, died in 1665, Charles became king at just 4 years old. His empire, once the most powerful in Europe, was already in decline. Spain was plagued by economic troubles, including heavy taxes, famines, and the costs of continuous wars. Charles's reign became a long, slow unraveling of Spanish power. Since Charles could not effectively govern, others ruled in his name. His mother, Mariana of Austria, served as regent during his youth, but her leadership was weak, and she relied on corrupt advisors who worsened Spain's problems. As Charles grew older, a series of ministers and favorites took control of the government, often prioritizing their own interests over the needs of the country. The once mighty Spanish Empire crumbled further under their mismanagement. The issue of Charles producing an heir consumed the Spanish court. Without a child to continue the Habsburg line, the future of Spain was uncertain. Charles married twice, first to Marie-Louise of Orleans and later to Maria Anna of Neuburg, but neither union resulted in children. His first wife, Marie-Louise, was reportedly miserable and died young, possibly from a combination of illness and despair. Some blamed Charles's health and deformities for his inability to father children, while others turned to superstition, insisting he was cursed. Charles himself became deeply religious, clinging to the church for comfort. He believed he was under a supernatural curse and submitted to exorcisms in hopes of removing it. These rituals, along with the constant focus on his failures, added to his feelings of inadequacy and despair. His physical and mental health deteriorated even further in his final years. By the time Charles died on November 1, 1700, at the age of 38, both his body and his kingdom were in ruins. His autopsy revealed shocking details. His heart was extraordinarily small. His lungs were decayed, his intestines were in poor condition, and his skull was filled with water. These findings confirmed the devastating effects of his fragile health. Charles left no heir, and his death marked the end of the Spanish Habsburg dynasty. The consequences of Charles's death were felt across Europe. His passing triggered the War of the Spanish Succession, a major conflict over who would inherit the Spanish throne. The war redrew Europe's political map and further weakened Spain's influence on the continent. Charles's tragic life and reign became a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the consequences of poor leadership. While Charles II was far from a successful ruler, his story is a powerful reminder of the complexities of history. His struggles were not entirely his fault. They were the result of centuries of decisions made by his ancestors and the challenges of ruling a crumbling empire. Charles's life was filled with suffering, but it also symbolized the end of an era. His reign marked the collapse of Spain's dominance in Europe and the inevitable changes that come with time. Charles II's legacy is not one of greatness, but his story continues to fascinate as an example of human vulnerability and the fragility of empires. It stands as a testament to the costs of pride, power, and the weight of history. If you enjoyed this story, like and subscribe for more history lessons. Let's explore the past together.